सुनो कहानी रे, हमरी खेती किसानी रे, ऐसन खेती किसानी रे, भैया सुनो कहानी।
Welcome everyone. Today I'm delighted to host Shiva sir here. Shiva sir, as everybody knows, heads ITC Agri, ITC IT, and maybe CSR as well, sir. So it's very large, portfolio. He's been
Thank you.
Whatever little we are trying to do here, sir have been doing for 30 plus years.
This is my 43rd year
43rd
in
years.
business.
So, and you may have seen he has like really pointed questions. We got grilled, so thank you for that. And I think it's a immense honor that he's amongst us. And sir, we would love to hear your. We thought that you do masterclass later, because that way you would have seen whatever things we are doing, what mistakes we may be doing, what we may be doing right. So maybe you can sort of you have about 20 minutes with us. The areas you think we need to focus and pitfalls we can avoid, and maybe we keep 5-10 minutes for questions my team may have.
Yeah.
Over to you, sir.
Good. Thank you, Ruchit, and thanks all of you for having me here. And great pleasure interacting with all of you. Ruchita, of course, I have been interacting for some time on and off in some of the gatherings elsewhere, but having met all of you in a focused manner to understand what you're doing. So firstly, let me congratulate all of you and compliment all of you for extraordinary work that you're doing. Typically everybody does some work or the other, and as the old story goes, multiple people are laying bricks, and you go around, ask people, what are you trying to do? So one of them says, I'm laying bricks, that's my job, I come lay all the bricks and go back. And another one says, I'm building a wall. And a third one says, I'm building a temple. So depending on what you see as you may be all laying the bricks, but that perspective of saying that I'm building a temple, that person's commitment and passion is very different from someone who's saying, yeah, I'm coming, I work for 10 hours a day, I lay bricks, go back, come tomorrow and again start laying these bricks. I think that distinction is the essence of any organization. Organization is people coming together and doing something. And if you say all of us are here to build a temple, it's a very different kind of a perspective that you will have, as opposed to saying that, okay, I pick a phone, negotiate with somebody, I sell something, I buy something, I write some code, or I go around some shops and sell something. So the activities may be somewhat similar that any other company might be doing anywhere else. It may be a large MNC doing a few things, or it may be a small startup doing something, or a street side mom and pop store selling something. But those activities, when you put together and say that, okay, what am I trying to do here? So I think that is the fundamental opportunity that exists today in India and the world, and that is something that you are working in as a space. The problems that the farmers are facing in India are manifold. Okay, fine, over the last 75 and odd years that we have been independent, we have raised the incomes of farmers substantially. We have brought many people out of poverty. But there's still a long way to go before we say that farmers are happy. There'll always be some farmers who are happy and many more farmers who are unhappy. But if you look at nearly 44% of all our workforce is still relying on agriculture as a primary source of livelihood. And the total GDP we have from agriculture is 18%. So if you use that as a proxy for the per capita income, the per capita income of a farmer is less than 1/4 of any other source of livelihood. So anybody who is working in the space that can contribute to improving this is building such a temple. That's the opportunity. And the way of working that one has to build a temple is, there's no answer script somewhere saying that, yeah, I know how to do it. There is no such solution. You'll have to keep discovering your own method of doing it. And therefore, experimentation is the way. And the experiments, from what I've gathered through my interactions, are 4 kinds of experiments that you're doing. I think all 4 need to come together in some sort of a convergence for you to move from those bricks to the wall to the temple kind of a status. So one is an experiment in trying to understand at a micro level what happens for a farmer. Farmer buys a few things, learns a few things, does a few operations, sells a few things, at the end of the day try to make both ends meet. What is happening at that level for different farmers in different geographic areas, in growing different crops, is one understanding that you are trying to develop by doing that at a micro level in a hands-on fashion through many things that you're doing, that all of you are involved in one or the other form. The other set of experiments that are happening simultaneously is for all of these value chains where farmer is eventually buying and consuming something, whether it is a seed or a knowledge or a information like weather forecast or any or soil test, any of these, the end user. And for many things that are getting generated in the farm is the initiator. So at both ends of this value chain and along the whole path, there are many other participants and stakeholders. So somebody who is buying a tomato that the farmer is producing as a household or as a restaurant or whatever the case may be, or somebody who is buying a millet. So there's a value chain where farmer is the initiator or a producer, where it goes to the other end, and there is the other stakeholders. And similarly, somebody may be manufacturing a seed or a fungicide or a producer of a weather forecast information or a soil test equipment or whatever be the other end of the value chain. So all of these, the value chain interaction that happens today is somewhat inefficient. The reason why consumer pays 10 units of price, the farmer gets 2 units of that, and the 8 units of that really goes into the transmission. It is not as if anybody who is part of that is an uber rich or something like that. Everybody is still doing their bit and struggling to make both ends meet. That means there's a level of inefficiency that exists. And as a result, there is a way in which currently these different stakeholders, buyers and sellers and service providers, all of them are interacting and are happy about what they're doing if they are able to extract more profit than what they're doing, or unhappy about where they are because I'm putting all the effort, taking all the risk, but I'm still not earning enough. So that's where the inefficiency is, and therefore, how do I alter whatever that is happening is the other experiment that you're doing in a manner that connecting the farmer with a value chain of supply or a value chain of buying. How do I enhance those transactions so that everybody in the chain feels happy with those transactions, and only when everybody in the whole ecosystem is happy with their transaction, they'll participate. And therefore, that is the second experiment that you're doing. So as you learn this at a micro level and as you learn this also at the stakeholder level of transactions, parallelly, the third experiment that I see you are doing is about the role of information technology in improving all of this tomorrow. That today I may be doing in a particular way, an offline transaction, particular way I improve, so that understanding and an understanding of IT will connect these two to say that tomorrow I can do this with a far less effort, far less of a cost, far more seamlessly. All of that is when you do with your own hands, with your own feet on street, the physical transactions of the first two types of experiment, and parallelly develop the IT tools, so that how do we really make this far better in tomorrow's world. That's the third experiment. Then as you do that, third piece is that a lot of data gets generated. A lot of real-time sensing happens. So how do I make use of all of that to be able to take a certain decision at a more macro level, whoever is taking those decisions? You see that, let's say, tomatoes, suddenly prices fall to such a low level that the farmers don't have even enough margin to harvest. They plow it back. It happens with many vegetables from time to time. At the other time, as consumers, we all cry saying that, no, last week I bought at 50 rupees a kilo, now I have to pay 150 rupees a kilo. And that kind of variation is neither a farmer is able to control, nor a consumer is able to control, nor a government is able to control. And similar examples in every one of the elements that are there. And possibly getting a systemic view of what is happening in data can help in solving some of those kind of issues. That's the fourth experiment that I would distinguish. So now, in order for you to eventually solve all of these problems and for you to become a viable enterprise that can then get scaled, is all these four need to get converged into one, where you should be able to see that you may reach whatever scale, like X thousand number of farmers are participating in my network. So one fine day you say that, yeah, I'm not existing tomorrow. I find something else as a more attractive new temple to build. So those stakeholders should say, what am I missing? If HFN is moving on to build some other temple, as far as this ecosystem is concerned, what am I missing? Or will they say, yeah, fine, someone else will do what these guys were doing, I am quite all right. If one trader is not transacting in a mandi, one village trader is not buying from a farmer, or one input dealer is missing, or one money lender is not there, nothing changes for a farmer. Someone else will come and take on that role. So when you converge all of these four and create what you believe is a business model, that day you move on to build some other temple. I, as a stakeholder, whether I'm a buyer or a seller or information provider, whoever, if I miss something, that means that you have created an enterprise or a business model or a activity that is making a difference to somebody in a positive manner. So I think that solution by converging is something that you need to work toward. That's when it becomes a temple. Otherwise, I can lay many bricks. Let's say this brick is not looking all right, let me remove it, put another thing. Some wall has come up, but I think wall should not be here, let it be there and let me move it. So that will keep on happening because that's the role of experimentation. You can learn from theory if the solution already exists somewhere. Such a solution doesn't exist somewhere else. And therefore, you need to do that and get to that kind of a convergence. And when this is done well, then the enterprise becomes profitable, then enterprise becomes scalable. You earn a right to grow only when there is a commercial value that is getting created. And when you scale, then you become that somebody who will be missed by many more people. Then that becomes a thriving and growing enterprise. And because this is in a very important area for the country, the opportunity is unlimited. But discovering that solution, I think, is the journey that you are on. And whatever done so far is a great work. But I think convergence, that path, you need to put that effort. And I wish you all the very best in that journey. You are on a noble mission. So wish you the very best.
किसान सारथी संग हमारे मतलब खुशियां ज्यादा